husband and your whole life. And I guess my first question is, what would you say the best parenting advice is that you've ever gotten?
Okay, yeah, it was my attorney, of all people, who's represented me since I was a kid in show business. I remember being in his office. I must have been no more than 20 or 21, and family could not have been the farthest thing from my mind.
Right.
Getting married, forget it. And I saw the pictures of his kids, and he was, and I just thought, God, these kids love their dad, and they're from the little to big. And I said, tell me about that. He said, you only have them for a short while, go to every game, go to every parent-teacher meeting. If you invest that time, then they will invest, when they're gone. They'll stay in your life. But you've got to invest in it. And happily for me, didn't require any investment. I mean, I loved every second of it.
I know you were a good coach.
Oh yeah, I did get drummed out.
I know you did. From
Yes,
helicopter marathon.
the fellow moms didn't like my coaching style. I was a little tough, maybe. But that was it. It's just
they're young ones.
Really taking. And now that both of my kids are basically out of the house, I'm glad that I did it, because those years went quicker than I thought they would go.
Right.
I know.
Yeah. I know.
And you
I
talk
talk
about your kid
now.
going on
I
to
know,
college.
it's so crazy. But you were talking about investing in your kids, but also, I mean, I'm not going to read it now, but on page 241, you talk about your wife in the most beautiful way. So obviously, this is something that you invested in. A lot of people in this room know my marriage didn't last. I think a lot of people, once you have kids, things change.
Right.
So how did you guys keep it, or did it change and you just go with it?
Well, I think the temptation is to look at somebody else's marriage, particularly one you perceive as being a good one, and think it's perfect. And then inevitably your own marriage doesn't, compare. I don't have a perfect marriage. And, my wife loves me in spite of my shortcomings, which I have a lot of them. It's a two.
No.
She'll be happy to tell you. She'll be so happy. Give me the list. But and I think that as you know that in the easy times it's easy, but when it's hard, that's when the work begins. And we've had to work, and we luckily I picked somebody I love, somebody who's beautiful, somebody who still is unbelievably sexy to me after 23 years. By the way, which I never thought. I thought it was like you get married and then you just have to live with the fact that you're not attracted to them anymore. Honestly, I thought it was going to be. And
No, they get
got lucky.
sexier.
Yeah. Yes.
I think my husband's sexier now than ever.
He is.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
So it's all about choosing no, right? And then fighting through the stuff you gotta fight through, and being kind to each other.
Okay, who's got a question for Rob Lowe?